Okay, my name is Namju, in American Namchu Lee, and I was born in 1939 in Seoul, in Jongno. It's Kahoi-dong. It's a very traditional town at that time, but not now anymore. I was born in a real Hanok at that 1939, and our Hanok, my house, is really big, really big house. It's not the common the Hanok, and ceiling is real high, and maru is real wide, and many rooms, about 20, more than 20 rooms in the house, and for another building in the hanok is connected from my grandmother's room to my grandfather's room, and a long back corridor. And so my grandfather can come to my grandmother's room without wearing these shoes, without stepping the ground from this back corridor. And we can go to my grandfather's room the same way and the long corridor from my grandfather's room and my grandmother's room. And my parents, the building is in the backyard separate, because my grandfather once knew where the daughter-in-law and son live peacefully and freely. So he built a house for my new parents at that time that called Pyeol-dang, that means separate building. Pyeol-dang, separate building. Anyhow, my remembrance to my the Hanok is first is very quiet, and how can I describe this nangan at the end of the maru? That was nangan, was beautiful, and also maru is beautiful. And in maru we have a big ceremony, and for instance, like my ancestors' death anniversary ceremony. Oh yeah, we had a separate shrine that keeps all my ancestors' soul, and so all great ancestors' soul, and so that's also separate building. It's a separate shrine. We call this a sadang. So my grandfather, every morning, very early in the morning, he visit sadang and he bowed, and that's the start of our home. Then early in the morning, my grandfather starts our life like that. I strongly insist this hanok should be remained forever, because not because my childhood memory, but in living wise, it's very. I think we can, in Hanok, we can live. Our sisters and brothers can very friendly. This Hanok, and I remember when I was child, we sleep on the ground, on the, and all together, children sleep all together in the same room. Same, because it's the under system. It's underneath is very warm, and on the summer it's very cool, and the ceiling is up there. It's very the fresh air, and in winter is cold, but during the summer is very cool, because this kiwa, the system, is very thick, and it keeps keep
us from heat.
Yes, and it's very scientific. This kiwa hanok house, and when I went to America, after living in American style, when I returned to Korea, I found out it's a little bit uncomfortable to live, like cooking and the kitchen, the structure, and the washroom, the bathroom, and these things like that is very uncomfortable, I found out. But I think like Unhyun-gung, my aunt house, Unhyun-gung, she 고치는 걸
renovated in
renovate
modern way the kitchen.
kitchen, yes. And it actually our kitchen should we have to come down to the ground, but my aunt renovate the kitchen just on the same level of the floor. So
That's what he meant.
yes, same level of the floor, and the kitchen is there, and but we can go. We don't have to go the step down, and she renovated in 60s, middle of the 60s, I think, and then it's comfortable, and this we all this modern way of the structure, the kitchen structure. Yet this is Hanok. So the bathroom also, yes, she renovate bathroom, and so if we only renovate all those little bit of the uncomfortable matter, this hanok is much better than the apartment Western. It's because since this is made by wood, and so we can breathe together, and it's good for health. And like a cement house, it's not good for health. I don't know the scientific way, but in spiritually, the cement gives us not the spiritual 그 뭐라 그래 정신적인 정서,
emotional.
The 정서, I forgot the word in English. And this cement house it might be practical somehow, but no, in our spiritual way it's not good. So hanok, it should be we should keep forever, even 1,000 years later and more than that. Yes, innovate of the inside comfortably. So it's the hanok is the best residence. So many ways, spiritually and practically and scientifically, it's all the way of living. The way of living in Western life is comfortable, but spiritually somehow I got poor and poor, and so I don't know why. Even though they have at that time, I went to United States in 1963. At that time, Korea was very poor, and right after the Korean War, and very poor. And if we don't get any scholarship, we couldn't get even a passport at that time because we nation had no dollars. So we must get a scholarship to get the passport anyhow. But when I went to the United States, they are very wealthy and everything is so rich. But somehow I felt poorness of the spirit, so very dry. So yeah, somehow I felt. But I respect this American spirit. I respect this Western culture somehow, yet I felt very poor and dry from there. Yeah.
So you think the hanok is a very important part of the Korean soul?
Oh yes, yes. Not only important, it's more than important. It's in our spirit, in our soul. It's 100%. It's hanok should be remained. Yes. Breathe, and the brother and child, the sisters and the parents, we can breathe together, but also we can breathe with this wood and this paper. This 무슨 창호질 뭐라고? Wood
Rice
paper,
paper.
rice paper, and this wood, and scientifically we can breathe together. Yes, in hanok, yeah, this house structure, this Western structure, the privacy is of course I respect, and but it's we hanok still have a privacy. Yes, so different. So
Good point.
region in apartment, but my friends died. My friend died, but younger sister is a professor in the university in Daejeon. But I haven't been there about her apartment. But she says she was born in this the Kahoi-dong, the Hanok, and she really homesick for the Hanok. So she made her apartment. In apartment, she put the maru. And then these all the doors like this kind of doors in apartment doors, not the big door, but the inside of the doors. Make all this, and everybody came. Oh, it's beautiful. It looks like an hanok. Yes. So yes, hanok should be made. Also another thing in hanok, we must step the ground. Yeah. Now I live in a first floor. I don't want to move. I have been living there about 30 years. And then the garden is my garden, and there's no car and no person. It's very rare person. Yes, 1 or 2 person a day, or not many people, and no car. And this ground is really the smells. I could feel the smells. I don't want to move another the upstairs or even second floor, no. And so we must step the ground. It's really essential. Really for our health, we must living in upstairs 10th floor, like 40 floors. Oh, it's like I visited the 40 floors. I was invited. Oh, so dizzy. I feel dizzy. Oh, no air. I cannot breathe in the 40 floors, highest building. So we must step the ground. Yes. So hanok should be remained forever. Yeah.